G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report. Look, it's a bit overcast, showery. It's about 18 degrees. It's 3 o'clock Monday afternoon. And yeah, I think we've had about 9 millimetres at home here, but they said 10 to 20 millimetres. But yeah, look, there's still showers around. We're not out of it yet. But yeah, I've just had to jump in and do the stew quickly while there's no showers on the roof. It's not, they're not very heavy and they're not frequent, but I just thought if I don't do it now and I leave it till the morning, well, well, the shit will hit the fan, you can bet on that. So, pardon me. So, yeah, look, no stew last week. We went away. We went over to the National Rally up at Kingsthorpe, which is just west of the town of Toowoomba, the city of Toowoomba, sort of west of Brisbane really for those overseas. And we wanted to get there earlier, but things didn't quite work out. Young Freya, our granddaughter that had all the heart trouble, we nearly lost her with sepsis, a couple of years ago now maybe. Yeah, she had a pain in the belly, so went up to the hospital and they said, oh, it's appendicitis. And I thought, oh, well, fair enough, because I had appendicitis as a kid and didn't worry too much. But because of her heart disease, she had to have a donor valve and that in her heart. And with the sepsis, any operation, if she needed to go down to have an operation for her appendix, well, that has to be done in Brisbane. They can't do it locally here, but because she's high risk. And so anyway, Tim goes in there with her. Ellie's just started a new job, running a Axel & Co, which is like a large men's clothing store in their big shopping centre in town here. And so she was heading away for the week to training down in Sydney. So Tim's up to hospital with her, and anyway, they sent her up for an MRI, and they come back and said, oh, it's appendicitis, but we're seeing a growth down there on the appendix. Looks to be just off from the appendix. So, yeah, we're not sure what this growth is. So, the whole family, we're in, holy shit, what's going on now? And so, anyway, to get approval, to sort out if the appendix needed doing or not, they had to send they had to talk to Brisbane, the people that look after her in Brisbane, and the heart wards and that. So they said, okay, send the scans down, the MRIs down. And so we're expecting to look after the other grandkids, and if Freya had to go down there in a hurry, they would air ambulance her down in the helicopter. And Ellie, she's away. She'd caught a flight down to Brisbane to fly to Sydney for her training. And so she hit the panic button and she had to cancel the flight. It cost her $600 to get a car to get back urgently once they found what had to go on. And then, so they sent the scan down. Next thing, the fellas in Brisbane come back and said, I don't know who took this MRI, but it's bloody terrible. It's not clear. How you can decide that there's a growth on the appendix, we have no idea. Take another one. And so they went crook about it. The MRI, the scan, and I don't know the difference between a clear one and a shit one, but anyway, it was no good. And so they took another one and sent it down, and they said, well, there's nothing wrong there. The appendix is the right size. They'd given her an antibiotic or something to calm it down, but then they wanted to keep her in hospital for an extra day just for monitoring to make sure that, when you have sepsis, apparently little bits can stay in your system for some time. So another day in hospital there. So turns out it was a false alarm. She had a pain in the belly. She may have had a slightly inflamed appendix, but sometimes those things just go down and get on their way, sort of thing. So the family had a whole heap of stress and worry about that, and we'd sort of booked a couple of days at this historic machinery rally over in Toowoomba. And this was happening like the Thursday, I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before then. So we didn't continue with our plans to go over there. The main days were like Saturday, Sunday, and that was the NHMA rally, the NHMA part of it. Then the steaming under the downs part, which was all the steam rollers and all the steam gear, it went on for the whole week. So with that, it turned out to be a bit of a fizzer. It cost Ellie $600 to rent cars and that and get home in a hurry to be with her daughter. Tim lost 3 days of work, and yeah, we missed out on the NHMA rally just because they diagnosed it wrong and buggered it up. But anyway, that's life, that's what happens, eh? So no use, no use bloody whinging, but it seems every second time they get up to that base hospital in Bundaberg, things are wrong. And well, back in the day when young Freya had her heart, she was going grey, and they took her up and they said, "Oh, you're just a first mother worrying about nothing, take her home." And Ellie claimed some rule. You can say, I demand such and such as rule, and they get a second opinion from Brisbane, and they flew her straight down, and they said, lucky you didn't go home, she wouldn't be with you. So it seems like a shit trot in town here with the base hospital with young Freya. So, but all's well that ends well. She'd been home the other day, and yeah, it was good. So, so Jude and I didn't get down to the rally until the Tuesday, and Laurie, big bad Laurie, my mate, he rang me probably on the Tuesday, I'd say, and said, look, don't bother coming, half the gear's gone home. But we were down there, so Jeff Parsons, he rang us on our way over there on Monday, and they were having lunch at the tavern in Oakey, so we called in and said g'day there, and we were staying in Oakey ourselves, so that sort of worked well. Then Tuesday went out and hung out with Jeff and a couple of club members, and Richard from Taddams, and Russell from Taddams, and yeah, met Emma Ritson. Emma's got Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop on YouTube. She had her steamroller there. Yeah, but yeah, running into Russell and them, that people I don't see often, and Jeff. Yeah, just good to have a catch up, really. So that was enjoyable. There was a lot of stuff not there though. There was a lot of gaps in the in the paddock there where people had gone home, and Fergie tractors. There was a Fergie here and a Fergie there, and a couple down here. And I'm going to have to stop for a minute. This rain's just coming in right on stew time. Okay, the shower seems to have dissipated a little bit, so we'll just see how we go. You might notice a couple of shorts coming out with the 65. I've been enjoying playing with that at the moment, and with it, I don't know, Facebook, I've been popping stuff out on Facebook. I've got this Facebook certified thing happening where I can put stuff out there and they make sure no one's copying. So I'm giving that a go, see what happens. So you'll probably notice a few more Facebook posts and just a few little shorts and things like that popping up here and there. The Massey 65, I've got a couple of videos up the spout for that. I've got them loaded up in YouTube, so every week on a Thursday about midnight, on the Wednesday night, Thursday morning, there'll be another one drop out, and I think I've got 3 weeks ahead so far. Little things like, you know, doing the brakes and the final drives and that at the moment. I haven't got to the PDO shaft yet, but we will get there. And yeah, I've finished the left-hand final drive, and it come up okay. And the right-hand final drive, well, it's just a basket case. You can see, all where the circlip groove is here. All the top bits are broken off, and I only actually have one good spline there to hold it on. This bearing was buggered, so there's a fellow on Facebook, Anthony, and he has in Facebook Marketplace, he has Massey is wrecking, so I'm waiting on him at the moment to see if he's got a new axle for me, as in a good second-hand one. The shafts that go these are the shafts that hold your Planet pinions on. They're worn out, so they weren't available through Sparex or anyone else like that. I've got some coming out of India. Now, look, I'm just going to get them and have a go. They'll be about a month or so away. The gears are buggered, as in all the surface inside. They're buggered, but I have some of them from Sparex. The needles that go around this section here, the video that I did assembling the final drive, the Sparex ones don't fit, they're just the wrong size. And I couldn't get all the needles back in there, so I've been into Massey Ferguson, and you've got to buy a packet of 100 needles, and it's only like 48 bucks, so they're cheaper than aftermarket anyway. And so I'm at a bit of a standstill with the final drive just at the moment, as in I've just got to wait for parts, wait for everything to come. The needle bearings Massey Ferguson have over in, well, I think he said Belgium. I might be wrong there, but they're overseas. So I've got them coming. And so, yeah, it's going to take me a little while to get the stuff together to assemble the right-hand final drive. But look, there's plenty to do in the meantime. I've just done a little short on the fuel tank. I've had the fuel tank sitting here for ages, going to clean it up. But inside, look, it's just like brand new inside. Not a sausage of rust or anything there. And I think I might be able to see one little dent in it, but you've got to look to see it. So I don't know how, I think I might just leave that there maybe. But I need to sand that down and get that organised. But yeah, the rain's coming back in again, I think. But yeah, I have a spare brake plate here, but I think there's a number S4162, which is a number for brake shoes or brake linings that you re-rivet on to your brakes. Now, you can count 18 holes there, just count them as 18. And so 2 lots of linings, you need 36 rivets. So for some reason, Sparex has put 29 in the box. And I thought that might have been me mucking things up, as in not counting correctly. I lost a couple of rivets. So I had a brand new unopened one there, so I opened it up and it has 29 as well. So what we're going to do is I've taken rivets out of one kit to finish the brakes on the left-hand side, and I'm going to use that spare disc I have. I only have one of those, spare disc, plus the leftover rivets, and that'll get the brakes finished on the 65 there for me. So we'll see how we go. I've got Kempy coming in tomorrow. Russell, he's going to... I've got a couple of bits for that drawbar for the farm all that I'm getting the boys to duplicate, make other ones, because these have heavy pits in them, and look, they're just not much chop really. So he's coming in for that. The secret tubes in the head on a 23C, he's been having trouble getting them, so I've given him my set, and I've made a spare set yesterday afternoon, so that should get that going. And look, that rain's getting heavier, I can see it. Yeah, look, I can see it blowing out on the screen. I'll just pull up again for a minute, I think. Yeah, back again. The rain's backed off. Look, it's not a heavy shower. It's just enough to put a bit of noise on the roof. But yeah, you may recall that's one of the old tubes that were hidden in the head of the 23C diesel engines. And yeah, they're the stainless ones I've made. So I had a set here for, I have a 23C tractor out the back at Grumpy Dave's, and he put an engine kit in it. There's a bloody helicopter going straight overhead now. But anyway, that's okay. Yeah, so I had a set of these sitting there for Grumpy Dave's tractor. Grumpy Dave's tractor, it's a FE35 with a 23C diesel engine in it, and it's a standard tractor, as in it's a single clutch model, so it's a poverty pack. And look, Dave put a new engine kit in it. He got a fella Arden to help him, and wasn't long, as they were doing it sort of thing, it got water in the sump. So he fixed all that. He pulled the head off, and these bloody dickheads helping him, and he's just one of those blokes, blames everyone. And he pulled the head off again and had a look, and no harm done. New head gasket, the whole thing, and didn't matter what he did, it kept getting a little bit of water in the sump. And look, he sold it to Ross that used to work for us at Queensland Tractor Spares, and in a deal I did with Ross, I ended up with it out the back here, and it starts and runs. And I did a video on it, quite a few years ago now, and well, I think it was that one, and I run it out the front here, and when they were changing the oil, they weren't actually flushing oil out and cleaning the filter and all that, so it took me a couple of changes of oil to get all the water out, and I run it out in the front of the shed here for like 4 hours, I think, and I kept testing the oil for water and all that, and I reckoned I had it pretty well right. But keep in mind that through the process, David also put Chemi-Weld in it and everything else known to man. So, so I've got that tractor out the back, and I had a couple of, I reckon it's got these tubes rotted out in the head, because I run it for ages. I parked it over the back in the shed there for quite a number of years, and I ended up putting a bright green coolant in it, you know, the glycol base, quite strong, and I thought, well, right, if any of it's getting through, I'll be able to drop the drain bung and see a little bit of coolant on the bottom. So for a while there I dropped the bung and not a sausage, and I thought, yeah, this thing's fixed. They just weren't cleaning it out properly. But after probably 18 months or so, I've cracked the bung on the sump, and the first thing out was a little drip of bright green coolant. So there is a little bit of coolant getting there, but Dave and Arden, they pulled that head off 2 or 3 times. They pulled the liners out, they did everything, and in the end they got, there's a local Massey Ferguson, a field service bloke, Laurie Ross, and they got him in because he was a Massey man, so he pulled it all apart and checked everything out and put it back together and replaced the head gasket again, and he couldn't find anything wrong, and it still kept doing it. So I've ended up with it here. So just part of the collection I've picked up over the years. So with Russell doing his, he's having trouble with one that he's done. Yeah, I said to Jude the other day, it's a runner. I should just back it in here and pop the head off and do this and put it back, and then that's just another tractor running that I can go and use and do things for. Like the panels aren't too bad. He started painting it, and yeah, must have got halfway, and so it's a shitty looking tractor. But yeah, I have nice mud guards here I can put on it, and just a couple of knickknacks just to put on. You know, I know he's had the clutch out because he was going off his head one day, and he's my neighbour over here. And yeah, what he done, he got impatient and he pulled the clutch together with the bolts, and he bent the main clutch plate. So he's saying, this bloody clutch isn't working anymore. And I said, oh, you might have bent the plate, mate. Nah, bullshit. So, you know, pulled it off. Well, she was like a bloody teepee. And so he put a new clutch plate in it, and that was fine. But the clutch worked fine out there. I could start it, you know, I can put a battery in it and wind it over, and I can get it going, no worries. I can drive it around the paddock, no worries. The tyres are probably flat from sitting, but yeah, look, just a thought, while I've got these little bits and pieces going, like, you know, I could have the head off and tidied up. I'm pretty sure he did the valves in it at the time. I'm not 100% sure now, but if you recall, I did a strip down on a 23C that a fella gave me, and you remember it had brand new bearings with grease on it, and that was the video that I did pulling the head apart and doing the tubes. So I still have that head with the new tubes sitting just up in my pallet racking here as well. So if I pop the head off Grumpy Dave's tractor and there's something there I don't like, I do have a spare head that I can pop back in, and I haven't got another tractor pulled apart, which is exactly what I don't want. But look, there's plenty to do on the 65 yet. I don't really need another job. It's just it's just that when I get caught for parts like I am now, and I was planning on just finishing this arse end here, painting the whole main frame here, and then just working on the panels. But that's not going to happen the way things have worked out. So we'll just see. So. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking about. I don't know if I'll get to it or not. It'll be easy enough to do. It's easy enough to get out from outside where it is there. I just got to take a battery out and crank it up and we're away. So anyway, we'll see. It'll just give me another tractor running that I can take to the shows, and, you know, just to make the numbers up for when we need to. So I think at a club level we have Agro Trend coming in a fortnight, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's 12th and 13th of this month, I think. But the main thing that we're going to, the next main rally is the Kangaroo rally. It's the third weekend in September, and we're going over there. I think my mate Big Bad Laurie's going over. Yeah, so a few of us from Bundy here, the tractor blokes, are going over. What the engine blokes are doing, I don't know. A lot of them are away or going away. You know, trips up north and out to Winton and places like that. So, but anyway, us tractor blokes, we have a good crew of tractor fellas at the moment, and yeah, it's just everything's just gelling nicely in that regard. The admin part of the club's, it's just bloody shit. But anyway, that's just part of what we got to put up with to have the rest. So we'll work with that. I've got a few things to sort out there yet, but that's all right. The AGM's coming up, so I might have a holiday. See how we go. But look, that's about all I got to flap my gums about today. Yeah, it's a bit hit and miss, but I've been trying to get the stew done before the rain, but it sort of caught us out a little bit. But yeah, I might pop up and edit this and try and get it out, and yeah, get it sorted. And yeah, you might have one early, but you will see YouTube's telling us, you know, to put little shorts out and just bits and pieces, and they're those things you can watch them if you want. If you don't want, don't bother. It's just while I'm walking around, and what I'm finding with the shorts and the reels on Facebook, I've always got my phone with me anyway, and it's just sitting over on the chair there. Sometimes it's just easy to pick it up and say, have a quick, oh, look at this is what I'm doing, and get it out there. And people who are interested, they're sort of kept up to date a lot quicker than waiting for a video to come out. And you know, and the editing process is very little. You know, I can just take a 30-second video, say what I want, and it's out there and done, and just helps people keep up with what's going on in the shed. And I'm finding that the interaction with people messaging back and chatting back through both Facebook and through the YouTube shorts, it keeps you a bit motivated. You know, you got the community's building is probably where I'm going with that. And yeah, we have a chat, and there's people all over the world, and they hang shit on me, and yeah, have a bit of fun with it, and tease me about me water pump leaking on the farm and things. But look, it's all done in jest, and it's all good fun. So look, that'll do for this week. You will have another 65 final drive video coming out this Thursday morning early. That's Australian time, Brisbane time. There is another one there. I do have one or two up the spout of the camera here to go and download and edit yet. I haven't started the PDO on it yet, so that'll be another one. And I've got the dash sitting up there at the moment just as a setup thing, and it won't be long, and Richie Beeson over in the UK, he was telling me, with 65 now, you should just put all the panels on first, make sure they're correct and okay. So, and I have to do it because I'm doing a mix of original panels and Sparex replacement panels, and I think I have a quality tractor parts panel, and I've got a mix and match of panels, and he's saying, look, whatever you do, just bolt them all up and get everything right and adjust the holes and do whatever you need before painting, and you'll be a happier chap. So I'm taking his advice there. It's going to have brand new mudguards. I have the mudguards for it. The rear wheels, I have to sand them and get them ready, so I might try and do that before too long. So when I do the wheels and I have the hardener in the paint, well, it can cure. It can chemically cure before I have to put some tyres on. I do have some 14.9/28s on rims over the back that I have for the multi-power tractor, which is next to this one, and I was wondering whether I should take them off those rims and use them here, save buying some, but then, you know, they won't get any cheaper than they are now, so I might as well just go and buy some new ones, I suppose. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks for dropping by, and yeah, we'll catch you all next week, eh? See ya.